Hi, welcome along to another video. Today's video is going to be all about how to write a business plan for an event planning business. Perhaps that's something you're looking to get into, or it's something that you're already involved with. Perhaps you actually just need to formalize this and write this down. So stick around and I've got some top tips for you today. By the end of this video, you're going to have all the steps you need and all the sections that you need to include in any successful business plan. Hi, I'm Mark Norman. I've worked in the events industry for over 25 years, and that includes several successful event venues. And in that time, I've picked up some tips on what you need to be successful, and I've thrown that into my ideas today to hopefully help you be successful as well. So what is an event business plan? Well, essentially, it's a document that sets out what are you going to do with your business? Who do you serve? What services do you offer? And how will you deliver those in a successful way? It's kind of written down in order to help you strategize, I guess, of where you're going, have a clear direction. It also defines who your audience is and the services that you offer. So it's quite an important document to pull together. Any good business plan always starts with an executive summary. Now, in my opinion, I wouldn't make this more than 2 pages long, and it should succinctly summarize everything that you have inside the business plan. And it should entice the reader to want to read the rest of the business plan. So in this, think about summarizing all of the different sections that we're about to mention in a way that kind of really sells the idea. What is it you're doing? What are you offering, and to whom? And do that in a really concise, direct way that will make the reader want to read the rest of the business plan. So the first section that I include is your company description and some analysis of what you're going to do. Now, if you're planning on working in the events industry, then you need to be clear about what type of event sectors that you're going to work in. Now, is that going to be music events, cultural events, sports events, personal events like weddings, or are you going to run some kind of event venue? What is it that you're going to do? Maybe list down the services of what your business, what your organization is going to offer. Definitely think about including in this your skills and experience. So what are you bringing to the business? Now, hopefully you've got some background experience from working in events before, or running businesses before. Really focus on that particular experience that is relevant to the services that you're going to be offering. So while you may have worked in a grocery store or maybe helped manage a bar perhaps, is that relevant to what you're going to be doing? Think about it and only include that experience in this section. Think about what is the problem that you are solving, so this often is sometimes called things like the value proposition. So how are you providing value to your customers? What is the problem that they have that your business solves? Now, if you're a wedding planner, for example, then you are helping people organise their wedding. It's fairly obvious. But perhaps you've identified that there is a lack of, let's say, live music venues in where you live, but there's a demand for live music venues. That's the problem that you're solving. In the next section, we're going to provide some analysis of the industry that we're going to be working in. So you might want to choose to do something like SWOT analysis, so strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats for your company. That is quite a useful management tool, and it helps describe to the reader exactly how you see both the internal, which is the strengths and the weaknesses, and the external, the opportunities and the threats to your proposed business. Again, focus on the specific sectors or locations that you plan to operate in. So it could be tempting to include in your SWOT analysis issues which are affecting more globally or nationally. If you're a local event planner, focus on the issues that affect your business only. It might be that it is a world issue as well, but how will it affect you? So make sure that you're definitely focusing on your business when you write this. Think about who are your competitors. Include that section as a section here in the business plan. Are you competing against lots of people? Are you going to be the only person offering this? Is there things that the competitors do that you won't? Or are you able to offer something different from your competitors and really highlight that point? Is there something that you can do that your competitors are not doing? You've spotted that gap in the market. That is a really good point to make. Keep an eye on trends. If you spot something trending, and a good tool to use here is Google Trends. So you can go to something called Google Trends. I'll put a link in the description below. Type in some of the services that you plan to offer, and you can see over time if it's a service that is in a particular location is trending or is becoming more popular. Are your competitors offering this? If not, again, that presents a huge opportunity for you to be able to capitalize on. definitely do analysis of your competitors. Think about their strengths, their weaknesses. Think about what you can do that's different. Okay, it's really important to understand, and the person reading this may be someone that's going to be giving you some kind of financial support, so they want to know that you've taken into account the entire industry that you're going to be competing against. My third section is where you define who your audience is. So you might think, okay, my business is going to be targeting everyone. That's not strictly true. In fact, it's very difficult for a business to target everyone. In fact, what you want to do is focus on either a location, geographic location, or particular demographic variables. Okay, so if you're a local promoter and you have a live music venue, then decide how far you think people will travel to come to your venue. That is your target audience. But even within that, you might say, well, actually, I'm only targeting people aged between 20 and let's say 40. Okay, so people within a 5-mile radius aged between 20 and 40. That's a far more defined audience than just saying everyone. And it's really important to do this, partly because later on when you decide how you're going to market your business, then you need to have an idea of, well, who are they in the first place, so I know how to reach out to them. But it also means that you're not wasting resources advertising your business to people who are not interested in the business. So definitely think about breaking down, issues to do with geographic location, demographics, so age, gender, marital status, income, education level. These are all things that you can tailor your target audience around in order to define them in a better way. Particularly with events, you can also define people by behaviour. So whether or not they perhaps are buying for an occasion, so be it a wedding, a birthday party, especially those kind of personal events are very behaviourally based. It's definitely possible to break down your audience in this way, and it just really helps define who they are and helps you promote the business better in the future. One thing you should definitely do here is create an avatar or a customer persona. Customer persona or avatar is a profile of your ideal customer, and you can even give them a name. And many businesses out there for their target audience do this. So they have like a particular set of variables. I'll put some links in the description below to some examples that I've used in the past, just to give you an idea of the kind of things that you can do with this. Fourth on my list is your marketing plan. So this details how your business will reach out to your defined audience that you did in the past section. And that's why the last section was so important now, because we're picking marketing channels that will reach that audience. Now, if you don't know what a marketing channel is, it is something like poster, or it is a social media channel like Facebook or Instagram. Okay, so there are so many different marketing channels that you can use that are either both online or offline. And so what we want to do is pick the most popular marketing channels for our target audience. And if we do that, we have a better chance of reaching out to them. So in this section of the report, really detail which channels are going to work best to reach out to your audience, and give evidence, if you can, of why you think that will be a solution. So it is possible, for example, to find out who the audience of Instagram is. And so if that matches your target audience, then there you go. You have a match, and you can safely say that Instagram is a useful platform for you to use to manage your business. If your target audience is based on geography, so a local area, then you can definitely define how far and reach you need to put either posters or flyers or any kind of other offline radio adverts, television adverts, whatever it is that you're planning on doing. Then you know kind of the geographic location of where you need to put those adverts. Section 5 of the business plan should be the finances. So here we're going to think about what funding do you need to start up, or perhaps as an ongoing concern. So if you are bootstrapping a business, for example, then hopefully you don't need too much funding at all. And I've got a video, in fact, of how to start an event plan business with very little money, which you can watch there. But aside from that, having some kind of financial forecast is really important. So maybe you're good with spreadsheets, or if not, I'm afraid it's the point where you need to try and ask a friend for help, or at least have some idea of working out how much money that you think is reasonable to expect your business to make over the next few years, and also to detail what the costs you think will be. And don't forget here that you also have to pay yourself a salary. So don't forget that you have to include your time in running the business as well, which is something that people often forget. You may also want to detail here any details of financial procedures or policies, so details of your contracts, your cancellation policies, refund policies, anything like that, put into this section. And those are important things that you need to think about because, of course, people and in the world we live now, particularly in a post-COVID world, that you need to think about as an important cover. It's probably also worth here mentioning any insurance policies that you're planning on taking out. Again, but those will vary depending where you are in the world. Check kind of, local guidance as to which insurance policies that you think you'll need to run an event planning business. The next section I would include is putting in kind of information about the business in terms of the staff that are going to run it. So maybe it's just you on your own, or maybe you're planning on pulling together a team of people to help run the business. Either way, you need to detail who they are, what their experience is, and how they're going to contribute towards the business success. Again, as in earlier, definitely focus on those skills and experience that are relevant to the success of the business. So they're my tips for how to put together an event planning business plan. I hope it's been useful. If it has, please consider subscribing. I make videos about events and venues and business all the time. Check out my next video on how to plan an event and also to start an event when you have no experience. And I'll see you in a future video soon.